Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Back, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection. Bring you 3 unique perspectives from varying skill range. I am the Killa Krilla of this episode, Andrew. With me are trash that we found, so we decided to pick them up. Keith.
Hello.
And our little shrimp, Liz.
Hey, guys.
And this week, I picked the game. I picked Another Crab's Treasure by AggroCrab. I keep wanting to call this game Not Another Crab's Treasure. I've done that several times this week. But Another Crab's Treasure is a Souls-like action-adventure game where you are playing a little hermit crab who lost his home. And so you are trying to scour the ocean, do objectives to get your shell back. I am going to start with this episode. And congratulations for joining us, because this is probably the episode where you are going to find out that me and Liz are, going to get in a huge fight and probably end our marriage.
Wow.
But
it's pretty serious.
Yeah. I loved Another Crab's Treasure. This is a definite game for me. I think this is, if you do not like Souls-like, I think this is a game for once that this is a Souls-like for people who don't like Souls-like. It's still very hard, but it's very accessible. It's light. It has good humor. It's colorful. Usually when you think of Souls-like game, you're like, oh, it's going to be depressing. It's going to be bleak. It's going to have a very obscure story. Nope, this game is none of those things. I had so much fun with it. I thought the platform was a ton of fun. I love the boss fights. Another Crab's Treasure. This is a definite game. You should check it out. Even if you don't like Souls-like, I think this might be a game that bridges it for you. But here comes Liz to disagree with me. Right, Liz? Was this a gamer pass for you?
It's a pass for me,
yeah,
but it's mostly because I just kept getting bored, and then I would change the accessibility options, which are fantastic in this game, and then I would still be bored, and then I'd switch them back, and it was kind of just this like back and forth of me trying to find like a rhythm, trying to find a way to like the game. There were times where I didn't mind playing it, but I also I don't know if it's gonna be a big fight because I honestly just don't care enough.
No, I'm fighting
about the game. About
explain to me. I'm almost positive you gave Liza P a game.
Mm-hmm.
That game is way harder, and you barely got as far in Liza P. I had to beat the bosses for you, and you gave that a game. Why did you like Liza P more? It was still fun
trying the bosses. Well, I gave Liza P a game because I actually the combat was hard, but it was still fun. I thought that the stories were very, very interesting. Graphically, I was very impressed. There was a lot of things I liked about Liza P. And then looking at this game, not so much. I mean, that's sad story in Liza P.
Yeah.
Because I am thinking of the correct game, right?
Yeah, the one where you're Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, for me, even if I'm not good at a game, if it's a good game, I'm still going to give it a game. I'm still going to try. But, I'll probably try to cheat it a little bit. Cheese it. Keith, what do you think?
Got a sprinkle on that Parmesan. So I think I'm somewhere in the middle here because I don't know that I would call it a definite game, but I absolutely agree with Andrew in the aspect of if Souls-like games aren't really for you, Another Crab's Treasure isn't necessarily not for you. It's a Souls-like. It absolutely is. There's moments where I was just completely done, and not because the game was doing anything wrong, but because I just could not do it. And I recognize that, and that's usually why I draw the line and I don't play a lot of these styles, these genres. But I do think overall, even taking out the accessibility settings, I thought the combat was, I don't know, it felt in a way that I could manage it. At least in the overall overworld, I killed probably 3 or 4 bosses. Spoiler alert, we'll talk more about it, I guess, before I started really getting into the accessibility. But boy, and I did. Oh, I did. We'll get into that too. So yeah, that said, I don't know that I'm like, oh my goodness, I love this game. It's everything I've ever wanted. But for a Souls-like game, I absolutely was not overly angry playing it. Only a couple times. So game.
So I'm going to say the thing that already makes this game more accessible than other Souls-likes, usually when it comes to Souls-like games, you have to deal with stamina. There's no stamina in this game. You can dodge until your heart's content. That's another reason why I can't believe you didn't like this game, because that's
Except
always
for when you're floating.
oh, that's swimming, but yeah, that's not combat though. That's always your complaint. You always hate stamina management.
I mean, yes and no, because like I do like a good dodge, and I just felt like I didn't like the dodge mechanic in this game. It just felt off somehow. I just feel like it didn't work that well.
You don't work,
at least for me. And so
you just stink. I just we'll get the gameplay.
Andrew is fired up because I was gonna say I have thoughts on this, but we're
we're gonna get the story first. I know. It's just these are things that are popping in my head where I'm just like, come on, this game is done. Anyway, story of another crab treasure. So as I said, you were playing a little hermit crab that's just hanging out in his tide pool with his shell, and lo and behold, a loan shark comes and says you owe back taxes, and since you can't pay up, he takes your shell. And so you are chasing him throughout the ocean trying to get your home back. So you are wrapped up in this grand, big adventure with, this big old evil corporation, some world-changing events, all just because you are trying to get your home back. You are trying to get your original shell. But, yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Disney movie.
It kind of is, a little bit.
do you
Just a bit darker. There's a lot more death in this.
Yeah,
Unless you're talking Mulan. There's a lot of death in that movie.
or Lion King.
Like it is like two deaths or 2 or 3 deaths.
They're pretty big deaths.
They're
I won't
pretty impactful.
spoil it for anybody, if they haven't seen it. But they're pretty
still-
major.
Yeah, careful, Keith. Statute of limitation still in effect there.
Yeah.
The Lion King.
But I mean, I'm assuming you find out why everyone's going all like rabid and stuff.
Yeah.
And I do think it's interesting that there was this one random person that I met along the way, and they were talking about how it shouldn't it shouldn't just feel like nothing to kill, but it was like so out of left field because this is not a serious game.
It is and it isn't.
No, but the conversations to that point hadn't been, and I was just like that's really just weird. That's like this stranger I just met, and they're talking about that, and it's like, oh yeah, I should just let them kill me.
See, that's what I love about this game, because the pacing is, usually, like I said, with Dark Souls games, they're super depressing. They're always very bleak. And this game's kind of both. Like, it does have its humor. It has a good amount of humor in this game. Nothing that got me, laughing out loud, but I was usually chuckling a good amount when I was playing this game. But yeah, there's a lot of moments where it's just people are essentially becoming zombies, and neighbors are killing each other. You're obviously in the ocean. There's a lot of pollution kind of going on. And, I know obviously this game probably has some sort of undertones that we shouldn't pollute the ocean, but I didn't get those tones. If anything, this game taught me I should probably pollute more. I have some old pairs of shoes that I feel like I should throw in the ocean because they can make a hospital out of it. You go to the city and it's all made out of trash. And it's like, man, these creatures, I should start throwing more garbage so these people can build bigger cities. That's what I got from this game.
Yeah, that's definitely the message they're conveying.
Yeah.
You definitely did not miss the overall undertone of the game. Mm-mm.
Yep.
You got it. So we don't have to talk anymore about that. That's exactly you heard it here first on Game Pass Grab Bag. Pollute the ocean. That's Andrew's method.
That's, I mean, my old pairs of shoes could be a hospital. Me not throwing my shoes in the ocean could be ending lives. Did you ever think about that now, Keith?
This is true. I mean, I've never really thought about it that way.
No, but I love this story. My only complaint with it is I wish the characters had a little more backstory to them. The whole, once you get to this kind of main area, the whole purpose is that you're trying to uncover this map to find this treasure to kind of help stick it to, Roland, the crabitalist, who is, this. I couldn't quite. What was he? He wasn't like a horseshoe crab. Is that what he was?
Oh. I don't know.
I don't know my sea creatures.
No. But anyway, thanks, guys. But yeah, you were trying to find the treasure to basically give it to the citizens so the CEO of this evil corporation doesn't get it. But the story, like I said, I enjoyed it. I just kind of wish the characters, because you're kind of semi-traveling with these other citizens, and you don't get much backstory with them. You have the old historian guy named Conch, and I guess that's it. He's just a historian. You have a lady who's in the lower slums area called Bottom Feeders. She runs a dive bar. She has 2 kids. That's kind of all I know about her, and she runs a bar. And Okay, and then there's another hermit crab who's blue, who wants to be a capitalist too. Sorry, a crapitalist, and that's about it. So it's like that's my only complaint. I wish the characters were a little more fleshed out. Oh, my favorite though is Chitin, the lobster samurai knight lady. But once again, not much backstory with her.
Which one is she? Is she the one that upgrades your weapon?
No, she was the one that you first met at Slacktide. And then she ends up like kind of going, not berserk, but like she becomes like a full on warrior, and she's wearing a dead crab for a helmet. And she's always talking about how she just wants to become stronger and destroy all the evil in the world.
See,
I do not remember this.
I mean, I guess the characters are forgettable because I don't remember that, and I feel like I should.
Oh my gosh. You both are disappointing me this episode.
Well,
I read all the text too. Like whenever I interacted, like I would read it, and I just like can't remember any of it.
I mostly did as well. I was mostly at least following, because there's a lot of throwaway text too, because it's hard to tell what's throwaway, because as you said, you have these kind of small band of characters that are semi-main characters, we'll call them for lack of a better word, and they're just throwaway dialogue for the most part. They have a bit of personality so that you can differentiate who they are outside of their look and feel, but they don't matter. They could just not exist in any capacity, and it wouldn't change anything. Like, it's not like, maybe if each one of them gave you some different piece of information about the area you were in and how it was going to be helpful. Like the historian would give you the background of the area, the capitalist could give you, where the treasures would be or something along those lines. Maybe that would make sense, but no, that's all they do.
Yeah. So that's generally my only complaint. But besides that, like the humor, especially all the trash that you're finding, always gave me a good chuckle.
Yes, that was good.
Like there's White Claw cans, but they're called Fight Claw, and the flavor is garlic butter. Squid Color Discord, yeah, I saw it too. But there's margarine butter, and normally I can't believe it's not butter, but it's called, seriously, if this is not butter, I'm gonna lose it. I love the name of the products that you find in this game.
You showed them to me, but I never remembered to look at them. So when you pointed the humor out to me in the game, I got it, and I thought it was cute, but I didn't really look for it when I was playing.
You are so lackluster in this game. It's blowing my mind because I had so much fun with it.
I don't know what it is that I just couldn't get interested in, and I mean, if you look at, like, obviously the ocean is big and empty when you're like traveling through it and stuff. I get it, but even like with this, like, swimming around, it's like everything felt samey. The enemies felt samey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
agree with you that's
so many bottle caps. It's like, oh, another soda can that I can crawl into. I'm just seeing the same thing over and over again. So it's like, why keep checking labels? It's like, that's my 50th soda can.
There's 69 shells you can collect.
Nice.
So that's a you problem.
I found quite a bit of them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do think, though, for the first chunk, I don't want to say they're sparse, like, because there's plenty of them lying around, but it is a lot of just like, hey, soda can, soda can, soda can. And then I think probably after the first boss, like once you get into the main area, that's when it starts to open up. And I think you got further than that, sounds like, Liz. So you did get more, but at the very least, the beginning part is kind of a slog. But isn't that kind of always the way with Souls-like? Like, it always just drops you, and it's like, it's going to be really hard, and then you're going to get to a point where it's going to be very manageable for the most part, and then it's going to get really hard again, and then even harder after that, basically.
Well,
isn't that kind of the format of Souls-likes?
Yeah.
I also, like, was accidentally doing the map in the wrong order, and he's like, no, you have to go here, and I thought I was, and then so I did it again, and I got a different piece of the map. And I don't know what I was doing wrong, and I was like, I'll find it eventually.
Wait, where did you go? Wait, did you kill the big hungry guy?
I don't remember.
How did
the bosses?
He's a giant crab with a plastic fork and a plastic knife for claws. Oh my!
I can't remember what a single boss was. I was like playing this game last night.
Were you?
I like, it's so funny because I put the time in, but I just find this to be so forgettable. Like, I remember the Duchess, And then I killed a bunch more bosses. I killed a bunch of them with guns, though, so that's probably why I don't remember them as.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang! Bang! Well, I don't see so good, so I missed. Then they ran away. I ran after them.
Okay.
Bang! Try to shoot them in the back. But I don't run so good either.
Much.
That definitely plays a factor.
Yeah, I would fight them for like,
one try, and then you're just like, oh, this
I do a
guy's getting
couple
blasted.
swings. Yeah, kind of. But the thing is, I actually did at the beginning try with fighting the bosses and stuff. You guys know me. I don't like to keep fighting the same boss over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think it's more fun to fight the regular enemies. The correct way. And then sometimes I'd be like, do you know what? I just need to plug along to the next area. So then I'd use the gun and get to the next area and try to find the fun in that. But yeah, no, I don't really remember the bosses. And then I was, I forgot what the guy looked like that I was supposed to like see with the map. So I just kept going. Are you supposed to see him every time you find a piece?
Yeah, because then he tells you the next area you should go.
I just found it on my own.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
But this is another complaint I have though when it comes to the combat. I do fully agree with you, Liz. You are fighting crabs, more crabs,
The fish.
more crabs, some sardines every once in a while, some more crabs, crabs with swords,
with a shield.
crabs with shields. You got another crab with a bow and arrow. So I do agree. A lot of the enemies are very samey. You are fighting a whole lot of crabs that are just a lot of their designs too are very similar. Like obviously I'm exaggerating a bit. Like you obviously are getting like tall crabs. You're getting some seahorses. You're getting like some little squids. Like there's some deviation to the design, but for the most part, you are fighting a lot of the same enemies. And I will say that is probably my biggest complaint is the random enemies you're fighting are kind of the same-ish. But that also being said, I feel like there's a lot less trash in this game than normal Souls-like. Like usually when you're playing Souls-like, you're playing like for like an hour, 2 hours just to get to a boss. You're going through a whole castle, doing all these things, blah blah blah. In this, it felt more expedited. Of just like, you're going to be traveling through this area for about 30 minutes, unlocking shortcuts so you don't have to do it again, and then here you go. Here's a boss. So I at least liked that. Yes, there are a lot of samey enemies. I just didn't feel like I was fighting as many enemies as I normally do in other Soul-like games.
I also think that the accessibility was kind of, not good for me. Because, there are times, too, where you jump to a new location, there's a crab waiting, and it's just like, I'll just shoot him from where I am so I don't have to deal with it. And so, for me, I think, it was, and then I would be like, Liz, don't do that, and then I would go fight the regular way, and then I'd be like, or I could make this easier. It just brought out this gamer laziness in me. And then I also didn't like that there's some areas where, you could go, 50 different ways, and I was just like, I'm going to miss something. And then so I try to go back and I get turned around. And there's one area in particular that this happened. But yeah, those two things.
See, I agree. Accessibility options are such a double-edged sword. Because we've had this discussion before when we played other Souls-like game. I think this was in our Liza P episode where it's like, people always complain about Souls-like games are being too hard. And then, of course, the defenders are like, well, that's the game. You just got to be good at it. Like, that's just how it is. But it is kind of odd to be like, well, you're gatekeeping people from enjoying your game because it's too hard. So then it's kind of a double-edged sword. So then when a game does, like this, come out with accessibility options, I agree, Liz. This is also why I never wanted to turn them on. Because we've had games like this that had good accessibility options. And I agree. I've gotten lazy with them. When it's just like, oh, if achievements aren't locked for me for doing accessibilities, like, heck yeah, I'll just hit the instant win button. There we go. I won. Because I remember, what was that game? Ickenfeld. Like, that game had literally an instant win button. And at first I was just like, okay, I'm just going to do this for this boss fight. But then I was like, nah, screw this. Instant win, instant win, instant win, instant win. And I just beat the game that way. And I was like, well, that was kind of boring.
Well, with Liza P, I wish they did have an easier option, and I would have found it more fun. But yeah, the instant kill with the gun I think is just too much for me. It makes it not as fun. But I don't think even getting rid of the accessibility option, I don't think I would have liked the game. I don't dislike it. I just didn't like it.
So why didn't you turn on like the medium accessibility?
I did sometimes.
Okay.
I did.
Because there's other options like, oh, your parry window's larger, your dodge window's larger, you take less damage from hits. Like there's a lot of minor accessibility things you can turn on. And
Yeah.
then of course, as we're saying, there's an instant kill gun you can equip as well.
No, that's what I was saying earlier. I fiddled with it so much trying to find the right like rhythm, the right like balance, and I just like I couldn't find it for me. And I think it's just because I just thought it was all, even the story, like it was kind of interesting, but I don't think there was enough of it for me to really be caught up in it. And I think one of the big things is characters, because there's always got to be like a side character that you love, you know. I always think about Alan Wake.
Really? Who was the side character in Lies of P that you liked?
Ooh.
You think I remember any character names?
Exactly.
from 99% of
This is just what I'm saying. You gave Lies of P a game.
But
not that.
again, the graphics, the story, there's a lot more that I found interesting.
What was the story in Lies of P, Liz?
You're just being sassy now.
I told you, we're going to fight this episode. But, our listener here, Squid Killer Discord, brought up a good point of, the world in Another Crab's Treasure is way more open than something like Lies of P. And Lies of P was a lot more linear. Hey, this is your next area you're going to. You got to fight through it. There was very little deviation. In this game, when you get out in the main area, there's like 4 different areas you can go to. Obviously, it suggests go to this area, but you don't have to do that. So it's like if you feel like you want to have more of a challenge, like this game gives you way more options to kind of go to these different areas. And I felt like there was way more to explore in this game. As you were saying earlier, Liz, like you want to kind of explore these areas. There's a lot of nook and crannies and a lot of treasure to be found. But like in Lies of P, it was very linear. It was a lot of here's a hallway.
I love linear.
And you get one more. You love looting. What are you talking about?
I know I like looting, but so like I will say like the shelleport system.
Yep. Fast travel.
Yeah, it's good, and I like that. So when I got to the city, I had already spent my money leveling up, and so I just like I'm gonna go back and kill a bunch of monsters again, or like zombie people. Which you told me you were just like blasting the citizens. Didn't you tell me that?
Wait, they were blasting the citizens?
No, I thought you told me that like you were killing the people in the main city.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Then I misheard you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just took like the shelleport and just went and just killed a bunch of bad guys and then came back and got my shell insurance, which the achievements weren't working for me at a certain point. So like I did like the fall to your death one or something. I did the shell insurance and they weren't popping up unless it has to be your original shell.
No.
Yeah, so the achievements just stopped working for me at one point.
Maybe it's because you're using a gun.
Maybe. I mean, if that's the case, then I can't really blame it. See, there's something I liked about it. I like the shelleport system. I like the leveling up. I liked there was a lot of cool, and the skill tree I didn't really use that much because with the combat, the way that I was playing wasn't really good for that, but I did like that was there.
I mean, sorry, there's no skills to the skill tree for more bullets in your gun or something like that.
Yeah, no, but I did like when I did fiddle around with it, I did enjoy it.
Keith, you haven't talked in a while. Sorry. Milos will stop fighting.
No, I mean, you guys just hate the game so much. I was just gonna let it go. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the overall like open map and design of it too, it's weird because I think that this is so we've been talking to Kel and our Squid Kel in our Discord a lot because he's been playing along with us effectively, and he's apparently good at Souls-like. So we'll start with that. Like you, Andrew, he can play through these games and actually do them. But he mentioned sequence breaking, which I think, if I understand, that's like basically like kind of almost like cheesing the game to like speed run things or get things out of order. And maybe all of them can do this. I think this game, more than anything, like, you can do it accidentally, because I'm pretty sure that that's kind of what I did. Like I had mentioned in the Discord that I had map piece 3, and I think there is some flexibility on where you can go, but I know I had fallen from some weird location, and all of a sudden I didn't know where I was, but I found a moon snail shell, and so I just went with it, and I just started exploring. And at that point, I had been, and this is part of the reason that I had fallen, because I had gone into a bit of rampage mode, because I had gotten to a point where I was just so fed up with the game that I brought out the gun and I just went around just shooting everything. I said, I'm not even going to bother with the mobs. Nope. Everything's getting the gun. And I don't know. I ended up somewhere I didn't know where I was. But then I had a bunch of microplastics and I leveled up a bunch, and I don't know, the game felt like it was pretty playable again. So for me, I have to basically get this game to a point where most people would consider it God mode, I think. Because at points where you guys were comparing levels and bosses beat, you're like, oh, I beat this at level 14. I'm like, I'm at 24 and I get one shot and I'm going to go get the gun for that guy. So cool. and that's the big difference in me and Souls like. So talking about that accessibility, yes, I did get to a point where I abused it a little bit, but it also is so nice to have, because that's where, as much as I wanted to play Lies of P, and I don't necessarily fault it for not, the fact that I was just constantly stuck, I couldn't go further, and I wanted to so bad because I wanted to find out that story. And I didn't even care about the story in this game. I really didn't, for the most part. I was generally uninterested. I don't think I really mentioned that when we talked about the story. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I just genuinely didn't really find much interest. It seemed like, okay, you're just on this little Disney adventure to find your family. And like I did say, characters were a little flat and uninteresting. But the gameplay is fun. So that's where, for me, that's where I weigh heavy on a game. And the gameplay is fun. So, or overall fun, I think.
I really like this game's story because it is, as you were saying at first, Keith, a kind of a Disney adventure. But no, it starts to open up and get into like otherworldly stuff, and I'm very intrigued by it. I love the voice acting in it. The story, I disagree. I think the story is actually really good, but I will say the Lies of P story was also very good. I can't believe I actually beat that game. I remember after we recorded it, I was still, it just in my mind, I was like, I want to beat this game, which Lies of P was really freaking hard. But that's I think that's why I've been enjoying Another Crab's Treasure so much, is because like I do love Souls-like games. But this one is just like so delightful, and it does have just the right amount of challenge, but not too over challenging. Like the area that Keith was talking about, in our Discord, Squidkill was mentioning how there's a boss when you go to like kind of an open field. There's a boss that'll hunt you if you get off the beaten path, called something the Ravenous. It's like Rhaegar the Ravenous or something like that. Very hard. You're supposed to beat him later. I think they recommend like level 20 or 30 or something like that. No, I think it was like 30, like something. Oh, yeah, Pagaris Ravenous. Thank you, Squidkill. But yeah, you're supposed to beat him when you're like level 30. And Squidkill was like, oh, yeah, I beat him at level 17. So me, with my natural unhealthy competitive nature, I was like, I got to beat that. I got to do that. And I beat him at 15, which granted, 15 from 17 is negligible. Like it's not much of a difference. But the fact that, Squidkill on our Discord did it, I was like, okay, I got to do this. I got to beat this guy at a low level. And it's kind of funny because when you beat it, they even the characters kind of were like, you weren't supposed to do that right away. You were supposed to go to this area. They're like, well, go back to that area we told you to go to in the first place. But I loved the boss fights. The boss fights, I think, were just really fun. I hated that fight because usually with a boss fight, when you die, you could spawn right there and just fight the boss right away. But with the Ravenous, you always have to walk to him. And so it was like a 2-minute walk, and that was starting to drive me insane. I was tempted to pull the gun on him, but I was like, no, I got to beat him at level 15. And I did. But I think the boss fights are just really fun.
The first like big guy that you fight, I was actually really happy that you could skip like the dialogue and stuff.
Oh, the commander? The first lobster guy, yeah.
That was actually, I was like, that's fantastic.
Oh,
because there's so many games that don't do that. But this is kind of random. I had trouble with, are they urchins, the purple spiky things?
Yeah, the things that don't move and they only get hurt if you touch them.
No, because like there's one where like I was jumping and I landed on it and immediately like popped over and died. But then it kept restarting me, like immediately hitting it and plopping over. And then another time I fell and like I don't know how it happened. I fell somewhere in this thing where you can't jump out of it, and it's got the urchins in it. So I was just like jumping up and trying to get out, and my health bar was pretty high at that point. And so I did like the die instantly thing.
Yep.
But I was just like, these stinking urchins are really annoying. But it got like stuck because like when you die, it sends you back like the second before it happens. So then I was trying to turn off like the, trying to make it so that you go back to like the shell port thing, and I was having trouble with that. And I was just like these freaking urchins.
Well, then I'm gonna ask. I guess I already know your answer, but what you guys think of the platforming of this game? Because this, for Souls-like, has a lot of platforming and a lot of traversal.
It. I like the fish hook.
See, I thought you were going to hate it because of the urchins.
The fish net. No, because I actually like the challenge. I just don't like it when it got stuck on it.
Okay.
And because then, like, I would have to, like, the split second that, like, I'm about to hit the urchin, which is where it starts, I'd, like, try to dodge over. That was, like, those two urchin instances, there were two specific incidences that it was just, like, I got stuck. But besides that, I actually like that you had to navigate around them. I like the platforming, hopping on the bottles and like the gross muck, and all that. So I actually, it was one of my favorite parts of the game, of the gameplay, was platforming. Not that it was crazy difficult or anything. I just enjoyed it.
So I'm kind of in the middle on it. There was definitely parts of it that irritated me, but I also figured out why, and it was kind of a simple answer. It's that all of the shells have at least a weight class, which impacts how much you can jump. So if there's parts you're struggling with, you're jumping, maybe consider what kind of shell you have on you. That can play a big factor. So I think that's, maybe I didn't dislike it as much as I think I did, but I didn't overall even really have a major issue with it. I thought it was pretty fine, and I thought it was a fun aspect to a game, but it's not all that uncommon for Souls-likes to a certain degree, right? Some amount of platforming and
a little bit. The platform usually in Souls-likes is awful because you usually have to like sprint in order to jump, and it's usually very clunky, and of course it's also very unforgiving. If you of course slip off a rafter or a pitfall, instant death. In this, it's very accessible. It's a lot more floaty. You're obviously in the water. There's no height damage, but obviously if you fall in a pit, you don't instantly die, but you do take a chunk of health off. And so the traversal in this game is just so much more fun. And as Liz said, you have a fish hook that works as a grappling hook, and it's just a lot of fun. It's very
roll
simple
too with the tennis ball.
Yeah, if you have a round shell, if you're sprinting and you're going downhill, you can actually go in your shell and be essentially like a bowling ball. I felt like that mechanic was a little underutilized. I only used it like 2-3 times.
I agree. And so there was, when I first got like the ability, when they first teach it to you.
Yeah. I thought I was going to use it a lot.
I struggled so hard with it.
Oh, really?
And then so I
did press left bumper.
There was this like slide area later on that I didn't have. I had my gun on at that point, and so I was like, oh, I can't roll like a ball. But then I ended up having to backtrack and go through it again, and I got a different shell. And I was like, I don't know if I remember how to do this, but I did it. And I was like, oh, that was kind of fun going down the slide really fast. But yeah, besides that, I don't remember really needing to do it or like having an opportunity.
Yeah, it wasn't utilized enough. That's my only kind of complaint with it.
Especially because there weren't a lot of round. Were there?
Yeah, there's a good amount of round shells. If you're doing a heavy shell, most heavy shells tend to be square, and you can't roll in them.
Yeah, I just remember seeing like a lot of like I figured it wouldn't work with like obviously the shot glasses, the cups, the cans, the what are they, sriracha nozzles?
Yeah, no, it works for them.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I just assumed because it wasn't round, so I didn't even bother trying.
Well, it has a round edge, and that's where you go in. Which I just realized, is the gun a shell?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it compares the two when you go to switch, and also it flashes red when it's taking a lot of damage.
Oh, so that's probably one of the shells I'm missing. I'm only missing like 3 or 4 shells.
Yeah, there's also
But
an
you can
achievement to
go
use
in-
the gun.
Yeah, but I don't have that achievement. That's a disachievement in my book.
Wow. Okay. Get over yourself. But I don't know if it actually fully breaks down, but it started flashing red for me, and I thought it was annoying to look at. So I just went back and then unselected the gun, and then reselected that I used the gun, and it came back normal.
No?
So, or if I switched for the shell and like the gun fell off a cliff,
Nice. Yeah, I think it was because I respawned with a shell that I had shell insurance on, and it didn't give me the gun back. I was like, oh no, I'm taking this one. But the funny thing is, and not I guess I could save it for achievements, but that was purely the reason I first did the gun. I was just like, well, there's an achievement for it, and I hate this boss that I'm fighting, so better now than ever. And then I went, ooh, that's a fun feeling.
Ooh, Keith got gun fever.
Oh, I wanted to bring it. So
Yeah.
with so the aiming, the controls were way backwards from what I'm used to or what feels intuitive for me. And I feel like most games, like, it's like, oh, this button is this and that. I'm like, even if it's a little different, it's fine. But this was completely backwards for me. But I did the aim, and sometimes it took a couple times to do it. Or sometimes there was an enemy in the background, and like that's why. But there are sometimes it just wouldn't like actually aim. And there was a couple times after I've killed an enemy that I could not control my character. He would run whatever direction he wanted to, or like do like a circle. And so it wasn't the actual controller, it was the game. Like I couldn't control my character. And it happened a couple of times, and it was always when I was using the gun. But it was kind of weird.
See, the controls, you're complaining about the controls, but I'm telling you, these controls are the same in almost every Souls-like. Right bumper is almost always attack. It's usually right bumper, light attack, right trigger, heavy attack. Almost every Souls-like. Liza P even
B
did it.
is sprint, right?
Which that's usually B. It was sprint Liza P as well.
Every once in a while there's a game that I'm like, it just doesn't feel
I
natural
know
to
this
me.
is
And
what I think
one
is
of
so
them.
weird about this. How you don't like this game, but it's very similar.
Well, I mean, like, I don't fault the game. I'm just saying, like, I actually had to think every once in a while, like, oh, what button is it? Especially if I went, like, more than a day without playing.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, yeah, I wish, if I had the option to switch things around, this is, like, the only game I feel like we've played that I would utilize that. I did not like it.
See, I didn't want to get the gun achievement because I didn't want anyone accusing me of cheating the bosses or anything like that. I'm like, no, I'm beating this game.
Would you get it at the very end?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to beat the game, but...
Yeah, that's when I'll actually do it. But I'm just having so much fun with the actual boss fights. It's like some of these boss fights are very brutally hard. But to me, my only complaint when it comes to the controls, usually when you parry in a game, it usually hit the block button right when an enemy's hit is about to hit contact. In this game, it's kind of reverse. You hide in your shell, which is like your shield, so you hold left bumper, and as soon as the enemy hits you, you have to let go of the button, and that's how you parry, is by letting go of getting out of your shell when the enemy hits you. So it's kind of like opposite in most games, which in context makes sense. You being a hermit crab, it would make sense that you'd be in your shell and you'd pop out to parry. But that was the only thing that was kind of confusing. It took me a while to kind of train my brain differently that way.
Unless I have to parry in a game, like it's a big component that you have to do, I try not to.
Oh, it's
And-
very good in this game.
I mean, I'm sure it is, but I still, like, I've never been good at it. There are some games where I feel like you really do have to use it, and then I just suck it up. But, by the way, do you hear that?
What, the raid?
Yeah. I
Wait.
love it.
So Squidcal said there actually was controller schemes you could have changed.
See, again, this game made me so lazy, I didn't even look. You like how I blame the game for that?
Yeah, I know. You're yelling at the game for
No.
not having controller schemes, and they do have it. Well, it should have told me.
The game made me lazier than usual.
Solid
I
review
really
list.
don't dislike the game either. I feel like you're making it.
Really? I was literally just playing. You're like, this game's putting me to sleep. It's so boring. I told you, we're fighting, Liz.
Because you know what? No, what it is it tells you on the loading screen. Well, I'm not.
Game
The
literally
very
told you could
beginning.
change
The very
controls.
beginning. Do you know what? It's me. I admit that now.
I'm the problem.
But no, so before we recorded, we have like 45 minutes. But 45 minutes of the TV time that I have for the entire day today. And that is honestly, you started playing it and I was like, that is the last thing in the world I want to, well, that's not the last thing in the world I want to
Yeah.
watch.
See, you're like,
There
I
are
don't
other
hate this
things,
game.
but I'm just like, if you only have 45 minutes in a day to like have a little me time, have a little screen time, you're gonna pick watching someone play that game.
I
That's
would.
a no. No, I play Apex or something. I feel like you picked it because you were like either trying to like convert me to liking it, be like, oh, look at where I am, look at the cool.
Because I'm near the
doing
end,
here.
and I was like, oh, maybe I could beat the game for Liz, and she can learn about the story, and then she'll be like, hey, this game's story is actually really good.
No such luck.
I still wouldn't keep playing the game to get to it though.
No, but maybe you wouldn't have been so negative.
I feel like I'm not really being negative. I've complimented the game quite a bit actually.
You just said it's the last thing I'd want to watch.
Well, taking that statement out of it, I think there's been a lot more of you projecting anger onto Liz here than her actually being about the game. She's been very lukewarm this whole time. She's like, I didn't really have much fun. I didn't want to play it. You're like, you hate it. This is the word. She's gonna give it a 20. Liz is gonna give this like an 81.
I don't know what score I'm giving it yet, but it's probably like what Keith said. I don't, like I said, it's not Ashen, okay? I think I gave, what did I give Ashen? Like a 40?
Something like that.
Or something. Like, I'm not mean. Well, I mean, I guess I was mean to Ashen. I'm not mean anymore. But yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it, lukewarm. But there is that other game that you're playing lately that I like, just like have no interest in watching you play. The medieval
Kingdom Come.
It's like
Deliverance.
there's certain games that it's like I could watch you play certain games for hours and I would enjoy it. I mean, but you turn that on for 5 minutes and I'm like, so wrap it up. I'm just kidding.
I was going to ask you originally, guys, what was your favorite boss fights in these games? But it just sounds like you guys kind of blasted everyone. So I guess all the boss fights are the same.
No, not everyone. So I said I fought, was it the Lycanthrope? The very first boss. He I hated because of his voice line. I was done listening to him. But outside of that, I'm trying to think who else I fought and beat. I think there was at least one or two others. It was Haikia the Intimidation Crab. That was the first one I shot, who was really cool. To Kel's point in the chat, it was. I
love his name, the Intimidation Crab.
Yeah, like he was overall cool, like boss, and his in the fight seemed to be cool from what I thought of him. It was, and then what was the one I shot? Just I kind of came up on him by accident, and I shot him before the fight animation even engaged. It was that like murky area, or it's like a little arena, and he's sitting in the middle of it. I just jumped down and, ooh, that's a really big guy. Blam! And then the animation came up, and just immediately all of his health went down.
It did like Indiana Jones. The guy doing the sword fight, you just pull out a gun, just blam! I win.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. It's exactly. He could have been friendly for all I know. The only reason I know that he wasn't is friendly fire wasn't available in this game. It's off. I tried.
That would be pretty funny.
I mean, you do have this gun. Why don't you just go shoot the guy who's holding your shell hostage? Come on now.
That's kind of my question. The entire time you're killing so many people, it's like, why would you just kill the guy who took your shell?
Yeah, but they're all like rabid and zombies and stuff. That guy was just being a jerk, I mean,
yeah.
There's a difference between kill or be killed and just being like, oh, someone took something of mine, I'm gonna go kill them now.
It's a good point. That actually would be murder.
Textbook. I think borderline probably even the first degree at that point. But you did say you were trying to get the treasure back for the people. Like, you weren't. You were just trying to get your shell. You were still you were shellfish.
No. No. I can't believe it took this long for us to do our first crab pun.
I mean, we did talk about the Crabulus. Not that was our own, but, at least that kind of existed.
I mean, because I was tempted. Because I knew I was like, oh, I'm probably going to drop Liz's being really crabby. But I felt like that was too low.
That's what you've been trying to lead up to this whole episode.
I know.
You were trying to just chalk Liz up to being fighting and angry so you can make a crabby joke, and you never even got there.
Oh, that's why you're trying to poke the bear. But I'm like a sleepy bear right now. I'm like, I'm not getting up for anything.
This is one of the most episodes. Me and you have just been talking. I feel like this is a episode you've been talking a lot in.
I've been talking a lot?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad this is a free episode. I just have playoff hockey going, so I've just been half distracted. It's in the background.
Solid work, Keith.
I'm not completely out of this episode. I've been letting you guys go a little bit.
Do you know? It's funny because like I am so tired. I feel like out of it, like a little loopy, and so I really didn't realize I was talking a lot, which is usually how it goes. You know how like you know you wake up in the morning and somebody calls you and you just can't shut up. You know? No. No. Okay.
Not in the morning.
Oh yeah, you don't really make phone calls.
I don't.
That much.
I do phone calls
yeah.
for work, and so I don't like to bring that into my personal life if I don't have to.
What about family? Like your.
I call my brother.
Oh,
every
you
couple
live
months.
near your you live near your
Yeah,
family too, though.
yeah,
so that's different.
My oldest sister babysits our youngest 4 days a week, so I see her most every day. My other sister only lives about 45 minutes away. My brother's out in Alaska, so I talk to him on the phone every couple months. But now the new Diablo season's out, I'll probably be playing with him some.
I mean, I talk to my brother on Xbox. That's about it.
I don't text group.
I've been calling my sister a good amount now.
That's true. You have been.
That's good.
But
Bam.
But for me, yeah. Anyway, for me in boss fights, going back to the game, I loved actually the Pagaris the Ravenous fight. I thought he was a lot of fun. A lot of bosses though have an unblockable attack that, especially most of them too, will almost one hit kill you, and those were driving me bonkers. There is an optional boss early in the game where he's like an executioner. And I'm like, this guy's super easy. I'd always get him down to like a sliver of health. And then he would grab me, instantly chop my head off and kill me. And I would have to start that fight over. And I was starting to vibrate. I was getting so angry. I was like, I have this guy. He's so close to death. There's a couple bosses. I almost want to say they're glitched in like how they were attacking. So that's the other thing I like about this game. A lot of times when you're playing Dark Souls, a lot of bosses do like a 20 hit combo. It's just bam, 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 just constant. In this, a lot of the times it's like at most when they're like NA in like stage 2, it's like a 5 hit combo. So there's usually a lot of ways for you to kind of see what they're doing, dodge, and kind of get out of the way. And it's like relatively forgiving. There's one boss. I mean, I guess that's really not a spoiler because it's kind of obvious that you're going to fight him. One of the bosses I just recently fought was Inkerton, who's a little squid. Great name for him too.
That's cute.
Inkerton. But he has a shotgun, and he would usually do an animation. Like when he shoots it, he would go and kind of reach behind his back to pull out a new one. It would be like a 2-second delay, kind of, oh, yeah, he's getting another gun. But there was a handful of times he would double blast me. He would shoot, and then instantly like another shotgun would appear and just blast me again and instantly kill me. So like there was a couple movesets he did that I was just like what the heck? Like there was no gap in between for me to recover. It was just bam, bam, dead. And it's just like that fight I did last night, and it took me probably about an hour, and I was getting quite frustrated. He was probably the first one I was tempted to shoot with a gun, but I was like, no, I am going to beat him.
There's one that you played in front of me, and you had like the tiniest sliver.
Oh my gosh!
I
Yes,
mean,
and
he
I
had the
showed you.
tiniest sliver, yeah. And I was like, oh,
And
see,
you're like, that would make me quit this game.
I'd be done. No, I'd take out the gun. But what was the enemy that you thought was really annoying?
Oh my gosh! Okay.
The basic enemy.
There's a couple basic enemies. Basically, if you were seeing a crab with very long legs, there's
Yeah.
different variations of them.
Hated
They
those
are
ones.
the worst. Like they're just not designed well, because usually enemies' attacks are very well telegraphed. But there's these tall crabs that have a sledgehammer, and they usually do a wide swing, and then sometimes there's nothing that really shows it. They'll do a quick follow up of a push with the hammer that hits you, and it does a significant amount of damage. This is another kind of little complaint I have with the combat. Usually when you parry, you usually cancel an enemy's combo in most games, but not in this. You usually have to parry every one of their 5-hit combo that they're doing, so it's really annoying. It's usually more beneficial to dodge a couple of them and then parry one or two of those to stun the enemy. But yeah, those tall crabs, I just cannot figure out an accurate way to fight them. They're just so obnoxious, but they get worse. There's taller crabs you find farther in the game. I don't want to give too much spoilers with them, but if you play the game, they're telephone crabs. And my God, they're like massive mech crabs, and they are so annoying. I actually just started sprinting. I'm like, I'm not even fighting enemies anymore. I just kind of want to get near the end of this game, and I just was running. I'm like, nah, screw it. Just running past these guys. Don't care. But some pro tips I should probably give some people. So Liz, you were saying about the skill tree. The skill tree is very good in this game. I highly recommend you quickly get it's on the final branch. It's wherever you stun an enemy, you can hit a mark's weak spot and do a ton of damage. I highly recommend you get that early. That does great, especially for bosses. Oh, and yes, the hammer.
Where do you get the hammer?
Squid
'Cause I
Killer
never
Discord.
got the hammer.
It's one of the abilities. You do a charge attack to a shell, and it turns your weapon to a hammer. And the hammer does so much damage. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I saw you using it.
Yeah, get the hammer and get the weak point attack on stunned enemies. Those will help you a ton. Also, and then probably like the third one you should really get is the grappling hook. You can, instead of pulling enemies towards you, you can actually charge enemies and hit them. That was so useful for boss fights because a lot of people, like, usually if a boss isn't being taken hits, they have like a stun meter. And if they aren't taking hits, the stun meter starts to go away. But if you can just quickly jump to them with a grappling hook, you can do a ton of stun damage and just get into the fight, bash their face and stun them and do more damage. It's really, really helpful. Another tip, don't use the grappling hook. It took me a while. I did not realize this till later in the game, but you could grappling loose shells. So there's a handful of times, or your dead body. My dead body would be in the middle, surrounded by enemies, and I'm like, I would have to try to run in, grab my body, and I usually would end up dying. But no, you could just use your grappling hook and just grab your dead body and bring it to you.
I didn't know you could do that. Wait,
Yeah.
Did you leave the option where you lost everything when you died, or did
Yeah,
you?
I kept that on. Yeah,
Oh my
there
God.
was. This is another one of the nice accessibility options. You know, usually in a Souls like you die and you drop all your your treasure. In the accessibility options, there actually is a icon where you can just recover your body, so you don't have to go up to and collect it. You can just hit that button, boom, you got your stuff back. I will say I used that twice, but that's because I knew I was going to put the game down for a while, and it's like, I'm going to forget where my body is, but I need to stop here. I was like, screw it, I'm just going to cover my body, and so I just did it that time.
Yeah, because the map. I don't know why they even bothered putting the map.
Yeah, the map is not great.
It's useless. I don't understand why they even had it there.
It's not useless, but my biggest complaint, you can't move the map. You see a map and it just gives you a snippet of the general area. But yes, it's hard to see what a path is, and you can't move it. Like, let me move the map. I don't get that design.
Yeah, that was like my big complaint with the graphics, where I'm just like, I every time I tried to use it, I didn't think that it was worth it. I was like, I would just rather just find it myself.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I could have used it quite a bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no context of how to use the compass whatsoever. I just kind of learned.
It's a compass, northeast, southwest.
Yeah, but I think it probably worked like somewhat of more of a traditional compass than like a video game compass does. Because, like, I don't know, it just, like, most video game compasses like rotate with the map and with your movement. It didn't do that, and I struggled a lot. I just, at least in the city, I knew where I was going, and then for the most part, I was able to mostly find my way, because while it is open, there's generally a fairly linear path, like you were talking about, as far as, you know, you have to travel through a certain point through this map to get to a boss, and that's, you know, that's that. And there was a pretty well-defined, like, okay, this is where I have to find my way to go. So that was overall pretty helpful too. But,
Well, even in the city, like, there's one guy I kept trying to find. I don't remember who it was. And he was on the bottom level, and I kept like going around him. I'm like, I really wish that it showed me on the map.
The city's kind of weird. It's a very large city for literally 5 shops. There's literally just 5 areas you gotta go to
and
shop
there's
at.
one that I could
and
never
it's a
find.
2-story. It's a 2-story massive city. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I agree. There was a lot of times I'm like, where is the pawn shop? Well, it's called the prawn shop.
Well, the first time I went to the prawn shop, there's nobody there. Like, it didn't trigger the event.
Yeah.
That was supposed to happen.
Yeah, a story element has to happen.
Yeah, yeah. Then randomly, I was up at the top and I was jumping on a sponge, and it showed him there, and I was like, "Where did this come from? Like, what did I do to actually make somebody appear there?" So I thought that was really confusing, but
Oh, you could get he may not have appeared on the sponge. You could actually like kite them towards the sponges and then they get stuck there. It was kind of funny. I took a clip of it.
Wait, what could you get stuck?
The enemies.
The enemies.
They'd,
Oh,
they'd
I don't
walk
think
on.
Keith was paying attention to what you were talking about.
Oh, she said something about someone being stuck on a sponge. I'm sorry.
No, she was talking about how she was on a sponge in the main city and the prawn guy
Oh.
appeared.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. I heard stuck on a sponge. I was only half paying attention.
Well, I mean, that's good to know, though. I didn't fight any enemies on a sponge. to get
Because you
this
shot
info.
him all.
I did not shoot them all.
Just some of them, Andrew.
You didn't
Alright.
watch me play at all.
All right.
I don't make assumptions about your play style.
Because my play style is perfect. But anyway, the audio in this game is really good. I loved the voice acting. I really wanted more of it. I got kind of annoying where it was like, here's a cutscene, great voice acting, and then burp, silent text. It's like, come on. I wanted way more. I loved all the voice actors. Like, I love Krill. Sounds like this like wimpy child. You know, Roland, the main like CEO. I loved him, especially when you kind of do a fight with him. I don't want to say too much spoilers of things, but I loved the voice acting in it. There's just not enough of it.
That was
The music is good.
yeah. The lack of voice acting was my complaint, and it kind of talking about the throwaway text or throwaway dialogue and the likes. If it wasn't spoken, that was kind of not my full criteria, because I was also trying to factor in if it had like the yellow bubble above their head because it was quest related or whatnot. But honestly, outside of that, I was really only paying attention if there was spoken dialogue with it. But you did mention the music, and we joke a lot about me not catching some of the music. I was digging all of it because it is all very different. It's not like, oh, here's just like kind of an underwater themey music. Like everything was distinctly different. It set the tone. It set the feel of the area. It was fun. I liked all of it.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I'm worse at that than you, Keith. I feel like I never remember music in games. Like, I don't remember the voice acting or the music, to be honest.
I mean, granted, where you were at, you probably saw one, maybe two cutscenes.
Really? I've gotten multiple pieces of the map.
Yeah, but you would have saw the beginning cutscene, one cutscene with the Duchess, and then probably one cutscene with the cereal box falls in the city.
Yeah.
I think that's probably about it you had for cutscenes.
I was playing.
There's not a lot.
Yeah, I was playing it last night. For the life of me, I can't remember any of the sounds. And I had the volume up. I just for me, I just, what? I need to put like a Post-it on my controller during like gaming time and put like listen to the music. Because I do listen to it with the volume up always. I don't mute it unless it's a game that like you really don't need it.
I did put up the one soundtrack that you even agreed with me.
What?
The main cities. The main city. I don't know about you if you heard it, Keith, but the main city, New Carcidia. That song sounds like a porn song.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
I listened to it, I'm like, this is like old school kind of porn music. This is kind of weird. Did you hear that, Keith?
I don't think I got that vibe. The one in particular I was thinking more of was the Dead Grove. Is that what it was called? Something like that. And it to me, it sounded like Zelda music.
Oh yeah.
That one.
See,
that
to
was
me,
fun.
it sounds like when you watch TV, like what they make it sound like from the 70s.
Yeah.
Because so for me, it's like that's what I always think about, like certain like
Deep-
TV shows that have that like.
Deep bass line.
Yeah. But yeah. So audio, I actually think you said really good. Graphics. So I think you were complaining. I think you said earlier that things were looking samey. That's good one, Carlos. In our Discord, it's kind of like a Prado. That's good. But the graphics, I really like the graphics. It's when you first start off, I didn't care for it because it is very open, kind of flat, plain looking when you're in the first area, Slack Tide. But then it really opens up, and I think all the areas are very distinct. Besides, a lot of the enemies are just fighting a lot of the same crabs. Besides that, the actual areas I liked a lot. I thought they looked gorgeous. There's one transition too, when, man, I guess it's not an old spoiler because you wouldn't get the context, but when you're going to an area called the Old Ocean, you're taking this long elevator ride, and it just opens in this awesome vista. I think the vistas and stuff in this game are really, really good. There's some dark areas, some light areas. There's an area, and each area was very kind of distinct, had like a theme. Like one area is like a lot of expired food and stuff like that, curdled milk. And then you have another area that's a lot of like trash, oil, electronics. You know, you have one area that's mostly sand castles and stuff like that. So every area had kind of very distinct image to them.
See, I kind of disagree. I feel like it kind of lacks texture in a lot of areas,
You lack
and that's
texture.
why it looks samey. But there were some like neat things, like with something that was being held up by gum, and there were like little things like that had a lot of
Yeah.
detail. But overall, it's like, well, my daughter's also been watching Finding Nemo again, and
And SpongeBob.
so for me, it's like I also like, when it comes to ocean, there's so many movies, kid movies that have oceans in them. And so for me, I'm just like, graphically, I wasn't very impressed. Not that, I mean, this is obviously not a movie, I get it. But I just thought it was very, from the 90s, like a 90s oceanscape.
I love the details because like you're obviously using a lot of trash, and as you said, like it's cool looking. Of like things are gobbled together that are like, oh, it's a kid's pail. Things are made out of like soda cans. Some enemies had a weapon that was like a tooth flosser. A toilet brush. The chitin, her weapon was a cracked oyster shell that was like kind of broken into a blade. Enemies have combs. Like I loved the use of the trash depiction in this game of like how people's armors were made. And then also too, I love the graphics of the cosmetics. Like your character can get different skins. I was, of course, Mr. Crab from SpongeBob. They had an outfit where you were wearing Mr. Crab's outfit.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was one I had that I can't believe Liz remembered. But I don't know if you got it, Keith, but you could play as the intern. Remember that game
Yes,
we played?
I did.
Down Under? I showed Liz, and she actually remembered that.
Wait,
She's
did
like,
they make
did-
that game?
I was gonna say, was that an AggroCrab? This beat me
I
to
forgot
it.
to look that up.
I looked it up and it popped up that it was the other game, but I didn't
I mean,
like a reputable
it very
site,
well.
but-
It doesn't in this case, and it's weird because one was a roguelike, one's a Souls-like. Although Andrew.
Yeah, they did make Going Under.
Oh, they did.
But they also referenced other indie games. Like there's also Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, I think I noticed that one too. But I was gonna say, there's that, but I think there's a weird crossover between, not crossover, but like there's a shared DNA between Souls-like and roguelikes, and I think it to me it's especially Souls-likes that really go heavy on the like you drop your loot and you have to like go further, and it's like about how much further you can push every time. And anyways, that's a whole different conversation I don't want to get into, but. Yeah,
You comparing everything to roguelikes.
I can just about, but I think my argument with Souls like makes sense. What I was gonna say though too is that I did notice those references. That's what I was gonna say.
The other game, Going Under, I actually liked. If
Oh,
I
we all
remember
did,
correctly,
yeah.
I actually really
That was
liked
the
one.
famous game that had a dog they made sure they put a butthole in that dog.
That did have a dog
That was-
butthole.
The what's that game that Piper's playing lately? The cat game.
Oh, yeah. Little Kitty Big City.
Yeah, that one. A lot of cat butt
Yep.
in it.
I mean, that's accurate. Cats love to show their butts.
It's very true. But graphically, the main character, like I like when they have like the text going on and his face changes
Yeah.
because he gets kind of like mad a bunch. You think he's like this like cute innocent crab, but he can get fiery.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, it's
And
just
murdery.
like yeah, I felt like there was this weird like conflict graphically with like things that were like really detailed and crisp, but like the general graphics weren't, and like I wish it was kind of like picked one lane, I guess, if that makes sense.
No, it does not.
It does not. Okay, that's all right.
But as long as you understand what you're saying.
Yeah, we believe you, Liz. we don't have to agree with you, but we believe you.
Well, like even looking at the city compared to like just the ocean when you're traveling around, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't like just one. It wasn't like, I mean, one person could have designed it all. I don't know, but it just felt like it was multiple people's.
I mean, games are usually made by
Vision.
multiple people.
Like
No, but usually with like graphics, like they combine things from
I-
different areas.
I feel like I was gonna say that, or I don't know. I'm almost taking what you're saying. It's almost like they all independently designed an area without talking to each other, and then just cobbled it
Yeah,
together.
kind of.
I don't agree,
Or
but
like,
that's what I'm. That's what it's. And no, and
But, like,
again, not
even,
even
like,
like me
just-
funny.
Even just like background compared to characters, compared to like the city. It just like I don't know. It just like it felt weird to me. I don't
But that's
know.
like the design choice that I like because it's like oh, this is the expired food area. This is the construction.
Well,
industrial
another thing,
area.
I thought it was great that things glinted so vibrantly, and you knew you could
Easy-
pick it up.
Yes,
Easy to
and
find
no,
loot.
because there was
That's another positive thing.
There were certain bottles that would have that little bit of a glint, but all you could do was break them, or a couple like shiny things on the ground. Not a big deal. It didn't really bother me too much, but I did notice that.
Why could you break the bottles, but like nothing? I feel like ever came from it.
There was occasionally, every so often,
I
there'd
never
be something
noticed
like
any.
behind it, or like I had a couple that it was like you had to jump up on the bottle. So I guess you didn't have to break the bottle because you wanted to, in theory, use the
Yeah,
bottle.
I mean specifically, like I feel like there should be something in the bottle once or twice, because I just felt like instinctively like I need to smash it
That's why they're there. Just sudden video smash.
for people like me.
Yep.
But looking at achievements, Andrew,
Yep.
how close are you to finishing the game?
Very close. I think I have 3 more bosses.
So you're at 430 out of 1,000 gamer score with 21 out of 32 achievements. Keith 180 with 12 achievements, and I'm at 120 with 8. Yeah. But like I said, there are 2 achievements that I just can't get because I think I did turn on like the you can die thing. I know I have died from a fall, like really died, and then I like the shell insurance, unless it's the insurance that the shell I haven't gotten back yet.
No, when I hit purchase shell insurance, it gave it to me.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Yeah, because I
I-
specifically went for it.
Yeah, and I actually got it when I just bought a shell out of the shop because it gave me insurance for the shell when I bought it. That's like kind of,
Yeah.
I guess, how it works. But yeah, I would say that you probably got some glitched ones there.
That's what I get for trying to go for achievements. You know, usually I don't even look at them. You know, this time I tried.
But a real quick another thing, because we're already running late. But when it comes to the shells, this is a little complaint too. There's 69 shells, and each one has like a special ability. It's like your magic power. Honestly, only one shell I liked, and that was the yogurt, because its ability was it healed you over time. So incredibly useful. It just made any other shell obsolete. I did not want to use any other shell, just my yogurt cup. So that kind of stunk, where it was like, you have all these different shells, but I could care less about any of them. I just wanted yogurt. That's it.
Well, what happens when it breaks? Like you have to find another one?
Yeah, unless you get the skill
didn't
where if
see
your
a
shell
ton.
breaks, it respawns your shell one time.
Oh.
Yeah. But it is so powerful
I
to
didn't
how much it
realize
heals
they
you.
had special abilities.
Oh my word, Liz.
See, that's why like I definitely am not gonna rate the game super low because it's like I feel like
You're the user error.
yeah.
But no, for achievement hunters though, I highly recommend this game actually for achievement hunters. My score is currently low. Like you get 90% of the achievements at the end. But as we said, there's a lot of accessibility options on this, so you could just turn the gun on and just blast everyone, burn through this game, you get the achievements. But all the achievements are very accessible, very easy to get. The only ones that are kind of hard is wear every shell, which is there's 69 of them, but I'm like 3 away, so I don't think they're too hard to find. Fully upgrading your weapon also will take a little time, but you can easily find a guide. Besides that, all the achievements are beating bosses. But another tip, all these secret achievements are bosses. Do not reveal the last and second to last one. I mean, the last one is just beating the game, but the second to last one is a bit of a spoiler. So wouldn't recommend revealing that one, but all the other ones, go ahead and reveal, because it's just, hey, you beat this boss. And another little tip, if you're wondering where the boss is, if you actually reveal the achievement icon is actually shows you the location of the boss. So I did that a couple times. I knew I missed a couple bosses, so I actually revealed it, and it showed kind of where they are in general on the map. So I was like, oh, okay. So I went back and searched that area, and there I found the boss. So that's a little
Cool.
tip for you. But yeah, good for achievement hunters. The game too isn't terribly long. Time to beat, it says 19 hours, but that can't be right because I'm at like 23 or 24. So I think you're looking probably about like 26 hours or so. But, decent size, but, you're definitely putting like 100 plus in something like Elden Ring. So as far as a Souls-like game, it's probably on the shorter end. But yeah, let's get into our final thoughts here. I'll go first because
that's what we always do. We go you, me, then Liz.
no, not always. We mix it up.
Occasionally-
Sometimes you go first.
That's
Sometimes
true.
you go first.
It's always Liz last, though.
All right, another Crab's Treasure. I love this game. As I said, I think this is a Souls-like game that if you are generally not someone who's a fan of the Souls-like series, this might sway you. It's lighthearted. It actually has a good story. I love the graphics of it. It's fun, very lighthearted, good accessibility options. So if you just find Souls-likes too hard, this could be the thing that kind of gets you in. But be careful, as we said, with easy accessibility, sometimes you get a little lazy with the game. But overall, I've just been eating this game up. I've also been playing mostly on xCloud, and it works very well. So the parrying window and dodging window is pretty forgiving. I was able to work around the latency with doing it on xCloud. So it's a lot more kind of a forgiving Souls-like game. But I found this game so delightful. It had good humor where I was just chuckling. Nothing really made me laugh crazy out loud, but it always just put a smile on my face. I always, like, still now, I'm mad that I wasn't able to finish this game before we recorded, but I played a lot of it and I really wanted to. But yeah, I'm going to give it an 88. Definitely check it out.
Yeah. It's a really weird, I guess, kind of mixed feeling I have on it because I really still ended up just being what a Souls-like is for me, where I'm just no good at it and it gets really frustrating for me at points and all of those things. But the accessibility features did make it so much more, playable, and that's what they're supposed to do. So job well done on that. I give that a lot of points for it. And that's where I disagree. I think that this is if you want to play a Souls-like and you're not really good at them, this is one that is going to be more friendly to you. But I don't think that this is going to be one that's going to sway you into the genre. I still think that it carries well enough of the overall genre that if you do or don't like it, you're just going to not like it, or you're going to like it. And if you're like me, you just want to like it but you can't, then this is a game for you. It's a very good game. So yeah, it's not a bad thing. I think you're wrong when you say that it's going to sway anybody towards liking Souls-likes. That's all.
Right in, listeners. Tell me I'm right.
Well, and actually, context point, we recently had an episode about games you could play with your kids. Well, this isn't one you could play with them per se. This is absolutely a Souls-like game that you could play around your kids, and like, yeah, your weapons and your fighting, but there's no gore, no disgusting monstrous creatures. They're crabs, and I don't know, maybe it gets a little worse, but overall I don't think that I saw a single thing in this game that I would be concerned about my children seeing at any of their ages. So I think it's nice for that aspect, especially if you're a parent and you want to play a Souls-like game. So yeah, overall, while I still stunk at it, I wasn't able to do it. The gun is fun, and it encourages you to do it with an achievement, so I'm all about that. And I give it an 84.
I'm going to give it a 75. Because, it had a lot of good elements to the game, but a lot of the elements I didn't like. It just wasn't for me. And so it's hard to score a game where just like, even graphically, it's like, I understand why you like them. I'm not a huge fan. The story I wasn't interested in, but I guess I could see why you would be interested in it. Same with like gameplay, like, this is not my genre. And then I kind of, did the gun too much. And it's like, there's certain, I don't know. It was a very weird week where like, I didn't mind playing the game for the first half. And then I was just like, it shouldn't feel like torture because it's not a bad game. But like, I really don't want to do it. But yeah, looking at Metacritic for the Series X, TBD, and 6. It's very it's very up and down with the reviews.
It's weird.
Which by the way, I was just stretching, and I was like, do I have really long arms?
You know,
I love that.
Do I?
If you're not checking out our video, you should check out our video.
I just if
I love you.
If Liz wasn't pregnant, I would have a whole lot of questions about what happened before this episode. Anywho, that's a conversation I would have had with some of my friends in cars years ago about how long my arms were or heavy they were, possibly, you know, various things I might have said about my arms.
It's just like I really can't tell because maybe it's just like the camera angle. But I'm like, I need to Google it, like how to tell if you have long arms. Well, because like I mean, obviously, if you're buying long sleeve shirts and they go to like here, but like I mean, different companies have different kinds.
Well, I think on average they say like your wingspan is like the same as your height. So I guess if you're like, I'm just throwing out a height from about how tall I remember. If you're like 5'5", 5'6", and your arms are like 5'11", then maybe you have really long arms. I don't know what that is,
I'm
Carlos.
5'3".
Sorry, in not U.S. terms.
No, your arms are about as long as your legs.
Yeah,
that's usually the question. Usually with like patients, when you have to measure you measure patients' height and not so much depending on the medications, but it's usually what their height is depending like what you like some of the procedures you have to do. So if someone's an amputee, like you can measure their arm length and kind of get an estimate of what their height is.
Oh.
So no, your arms aren't going to be like exceptionally long from like differently from like your legs, or you don't have like extra long arms. I mean, if they're like down to your knees, then yes, you have extra long arms. No, but like your
legs and arms can be disproportionate.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Same with like you can have like a short torso or a long torso.
But not like significant. You're not seeing someone walking around like a monkey.
I've seen people walk around and you're like, that dude has long arms.
I don't think I've
and
ever seen
not
that.
in a mean way. You just I wouldn't say it out loud, but it's like that person has long arms. You can't tell me they're you. Or like someone who like, oh hey, example, like supermodels who have super long legs. That is very normal for supermodels to have very long legs. I mean, the heels make them look even longer, but
and they're being skinny, I think, makes them look longer.
No, there's some women that just have long legs. And why can't you have long arms if someone has long legs?
I don't think I've ever seen like someone walk around and then like knuckles are dragging.
Yeah, not that far.
It's
fine. It's fine. I just noticed it when I was stretching, and I'm just like, if I was a bird, I would have a big wingspan, you know?
Anyway, let's wrap this up.
I'll be a big bird.
I'm Melissa the long-armed doob. There you go. Curtis here just gave you your new title, Liz. All right.
I love that.
What?
I love that.
Okay. Using your outro here. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you have any game suggestions, one of our listeners did ask if on Spotify you normally can write a comment on the episodes, and he asked, can we do game recommendations here? And yes, you can give us game recommendations anywhere. If you want to write out our Spotify episodes, if you want to write it on our YouTube, if you want to write it on an email, a carrier pigeon, whatever, you can anywhere. I check just about everything. Constantly. I probably check it too much. Liz yells at me all the time for looking at my phone because I'm always looking for updates.
Well,
but yeah, if you have any game suggestions,
open an email and not tell you so.
Keith is there's a good chance I may not read emails because yes, Keith does that a lot. He opens emails and doesn't tell me.
I just need to point out real quick because you're making me sound like a mean wife. Andrew can't multitask.
I can't. No,
and
I agree with
so
that.
for me, it's like if I'm talking to him and then he picks up his phone and I see his eyes moving back and forth, he's not listening. He can't listen and read at the same time. Some people have that gift, and some people like Andrew, you do not have that gift. Can you rub your belly and pet your head at the same time? No, you're petting your belly. No, you can't even do that. So no, you're still doing it. You can't do it.
No, I don't think so. Can you?
Yes.
Do it.
Hold on. It's hard. It's hard because of my headset. I can't do it on my headset. But yes, yeah. So, by the way, I'm not like, oh, you can't use your phone. I'm saying, like,
I know.
if I'm talking to you, I don't want to see your eyes moving because you're not listening.
But thank you so much to our Patreon members. Thank you, Squid Kill, Nerd Talk Plus, PTS Daddy, and Thomas from Germany. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. I'm going to try to do more costumes. I feel like that's kind of fun, except it didn't really work this because that laundry basket is way too small. But yeah. I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952. But yeah, check out our YouTube. Check out all our stuff. Go to GamePassGrabBag.com. And I guess I'll stop talking. We've been talking a lot.
I've been Keith. I actually do have long arms and a short torso. It makes, because like a small to medium t-shirt is good torso wise, but the sleeves are way too short. I don't like it. So yeah, I do. I got long arms.
Key special features is chest.
I do that. I got a weird thumb. Thumb does that.
Whoa, that is a weird thumb.
Both of them. This one just doesn't more than the other one. So
you don't give a thumbs up. You give like a thumbs backwards. Like, get out of here.
I have to like actively struggle to like give a normal thumbs up because I'm like concentrating on like, don't do this. So anyways.
I can do
Whoa. I can't do that.
yeah, and I could get these ones like they're double jointed. But yeah, isn't that like nasty looking?
That's kind of weird.
These are
For audio listeners, I feel like you should check out the this video. Go to our YouTube and check out this video. This is weird.
You can see my weird thumb.
Unless it's long arms.
Hey.
But is that your outro, Keith? You have weird thumbs.
I've been Keith and I got weird thumbs. I'm going to tell you that that's my new outro, but it's never going to be it again.
And I'm Liz, the long-armed noob, but that's really hard to say. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at LizDude.
All right, everyone. We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Hey, bye.